Does your grandmama ask you every year, when are you going to be getting married? Or who are you bringing to Christmas dinner? Is it really annoying? I understand. I've been there. And today, we're going to talk about savoring your season and making it through the holidays when everybody's asking you when you getting married and what's your time. So, that sounds interesting to you? Stick around, and I'm going to give you some biblical wisdom in the process. So, I come from a very, very, very big Latin family. My dad's side of the family is black, and my mom's side of the family is Puerto Rican. My black side of the family does not ask me nearly as much up until I was married when I was going to get married. Quite frankly, the only thing they were concerned about was me getting a degree, having a job, and being able to sustain life on my own. My mom's side of the family, however, one minute. In a Latin home, if you are not married by 25, you are considered old and probably unmarriable. I hear that this is true in West African homes as well. My understanding, it's a cultural perspective, but I will explain to you the best way to get through this season while using wisdom. So, the biggest thing is that I found when my family would ask me like this question, my only response to them was, I haven't found the right one, or the right one hasn't found me yet. And that is a terrible answer, primarily because then my grandma or my aunt, or actually my great-grandmother would be the first person to say, but you're so beautiful and you're so smart. You should have like 6 or 7 boyfriends by now, which is not okay. But I had to grin and bear it for many, many years. And so for a while even, I was just bringing random dudes to our Christmas party because of the fact that I hated hearing that I needed to have a mate. So I just want to start off by saying, stick to your guns and don't bring somebody just because of the pressure. Getting through this season is going to be really tough, and I would highly encourage you to, I mean, it's a pandemic, so you can't really do too much about a lot of things, but I would not offer any excuses and just kind of say that you really want to make sure that you are well prepared for a long-term commitment of marriage rather than just dating. And I think that's a big thing. A lot of people that I know, the only reason they want to get married is because they want to have the wedding and then they want to hear happily ever after. But me and my husband have clearly found out happily ever after is once you work through that. So when you're dating somebody, you're to be dating with intention. And I don't want you to feel like that you have to just find somebody for the season and take that commitment lightly. That would be my first piece of advice. The second thing that I think is really important is, because of the fact that it's a pandemic, to kind of get through this season, I would encourage you to kind of, it's going to sound so trite, but get on Zoom calls with all your friends, you know, play board games over Zoom or card games or guessing games or anything in that capacity, and treat yourself during this season. Kind of getting through it, you may never escape the question of when are you getting married, or when are you going to be dating anybody in that capacity. But what you can do is to kind of stomach it rather than dogging back all the coquito of the season, because 'tis the season. I would encourage you to surround yourself with people who are also like-minded, who do understand the sanctity and the sacredness of marriage, and that they too are committed to being single for this season. And that could mean that maybe your friends are not Christian, but they also don't want to end up in a marriage that is failing just because they're trying to fit the pressures of the season. And you'll find the older you get that it's a lot easier to do. I think actually the generation that's coming behind me, majority of them are going to stay single for a very long time because they don't want a broken home. So find yourself some friends that are going to encourage you and have some fun time and do all of that together. Biblically, it says to surround yourself with other people who have the same visions, that way you guys can run the race together, or to cast your vision, which means that you should probably find somebody else who's going to hold you accountable to the fact that you want to stay single for a season, and your family will not do that for you. Instead, I've known plenty of aunties, uncles, and cousins who have tried to play matchmaker for me, and it never worked out. I think one friend played matchmaker for me, and it was going to be a good match until I screwed it up because I wasn't ready. But outside of that, find people who are like you, who want to be committed in the same capacity that you are, who either have the same values or are going to hold you to those values that you say that you have. And then I think the last thing for this season, because again, pandemic, so I would encourage you to kind of get some self-care items. I know right now Alicia Keys released some ritual thing or what have you, but it's not too far off from ways that you would naturally take care of yourself from a spiritual, emotional, physical perspective, right? So for me, that usually means writing a candle, reading a book, journaling, writing down the desires of my heart, but not focusing on the desires of the heart, because it also says the heart is wickedly deceitful above all else. So I would encourage you to write down what you want, cast your vision of whatever having this perfect mate is, and then leave it alone. And also, like, take care of yourself by lighting a candle, taking a bubble bath, putting on all the moisturizers and body butters on your skin, because that business is booming right now. Drink tea or coffee like I do. Anything that would encourage you to kind of not have to worry about anybody else. And that's because when you are married and when you do have children, you worry about everybody else. I mean, right now my husband and I don't have to split Christmas between two homes, but I know a lot of family members who do, and they have Christmas on one side and Christmas on the other side. That's busy. That's very chaotic and busy when you're married. We have a baby, you know, she'll be 1 year old actually 3 days after Christmas, and that means that we are celebrating a lot and having to focus on people other than ourselves, like our daughter, like my parents, like his family. When you get married, or what I guess like the rest of your family does not tell you, is that your life is not your own any longer, and it's all about other people. So take advantage of this season and stomach through those questions, and then go home and soak in your bubble bath at the end of the night with some nice tea and relaxing music. Anyway, I hope this video was helpful. If it is, I would greatly appreciate you hitting the subscribe button below. I would also love to hear your feedback and what else you would like to see or hear during this Savor Your Season series. So if you could just comment below. I do respond to every last one of the comments that are part of this. Anyway, it's been my pleasure to share whatever small bits of wisdom that I have. Also, let me know below if your friends and family harass you during this season about being married or having a special someone, and how do you combat that? I really want to know, because I struggled for a while. All right, grace and peace.